Hey, once
I
again, you have dropped straight into Hella Vella. Look at you and found yourself another Lawless interview. I'm Azrielle Lawless, and I'm here today with Ben Boardman. How are you, Ben?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thanks
And
for having me on.
Ben's a Vella author, of course.
hmm
And we're going to talk to him today about his stories out on Vella, like we always do. And I'm going to hit him with the first question, which is probably, I guess this would be the hardest, I guess, for me. So if it's tough to answer, it's okay.
hmm
Everybody has their own way of answering it. When did you get started writing?
That's tough to pin down. I mean, I really started fiddling around with writing back in high school. I was like about 14, 15 when I was just writing, honestly, it was back before I even knew that fanfic existed. I'd be writing, fanfic of, I really loved the Pern series. So, I did stuff with that just was sort of Anne McCaffrey with the serial numbers filed off, that sort of thing. Um, I was a big Star Wars kid, so I did a lot of that stuff. Wheel of Time, all those sort of things. That was my kind of intro into it was writing fan fiction without knowing that fan fiction existed.
Really?
And yeah, exactly. It was because this is back in the '90s, and I hadn't stumbled onto that yet. So
I didn't know
yeah.
fan fiction existed until probably, oh, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I
I
didn't know that how big of a community there was of it. Except my wife is very very into fan fiction, loves Archive of Our Own, and she's like, "Oh yeah, there's all this stuff," and I'm like, "I didn't know anything about this. I could have
I'm
had
not.
a
I
community
never.
way before this."
I still don't understand it because you can't use
Mm,
it unless it's scrubbed,
yeah,
and
but it's
you know,
it's a really good way to practice, really,
I guess
especially
so.
when you're just getting started out, because the fanfic community is very, they have their tastes, and they kind of know what makes a good story in a lot of times, and they'll be brutal. They love you, but they'll be brutal, as far as their critiques and things like that, and it's a lot of trial by fire. There's a lot of
Yeah,
writers that have come out of the fanfic community, which is really kind of fascinating.
it's true, and there's a lot of Vela writers have who
Yeah.
have. Um, it lends itself, I guess,
hmm
to that.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing where you've got that kind of episodic
Right, right,
style of writing, and
right.
and you got to work to
Because
you
it
kind of
would
set
be.
your own schedule, that sort of thing.
It'd have to be episodic because it's
Yeah,
ancillary to the story.
yeah,
You know.
exactly.
So, well, that's super cool. So, high school, and you mess
hmm
around with story writing and whatnot. You
Yeah.
get out of high school,
hmm
you learn that fanfic exists
hmm
sometime at some point in there,
Yeah.
and yeah,
But really, I did a lot more with novel writing and short stories and things like that through college, and then kind of took a break for a while, and then a couple years ago, I just kind of like started jumping back into it again because it was something I liked, and a lot of people seem to enjoy it. So then I started getting back into novels and short stories and fiddling around. And then I heard about serial fiction from a couple different sources and started fiddling around with that with my own website a little bit. And that was kind of the jumping off
when was
point
this?
for that sort of thing.
When was that?
This was probably, I don't know, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. It
Oh,
was it
okay.
was yeah, it was a couple years before Vella actually got started.
Was it
Like,
pre-COVID?
it was pre-COVID, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this was pre-COVID. There were a couple. I had gotten introduced to things like Royal Road and Wattpad and things like that, and I knew of a couple other authors that were doing serial fiction, and there's an author. He does a series called He Who Fights Monsters, which is very popular. It's very, but he did it. I think he was Royal Road, and then he did it through his Patreon. And then there's one called the Wander Inn, which she got started through her website, and then moved on to Patreon and that sort of thing. And so I was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting way of doing it to
Wow. Wow.
yeah,
Well, yeah, go out and make a big name first.
yeah, that would be a smart way to do it.
Yeah. Go out there and, become a
Yeah.
USA Today bestseller. And then after
Hmm.
you do that,
And then
then
after you do that, then
you can jump on Patreon.
exactly.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, my Patreon wouldn't even need the sound effect. It'd be just totally crickets the whole time. People would go out and hang out in my Patreon page for the zen of it, 'cause that's all they'd be hearing. Anyway, well, so when did you hear about Vella then?
Vella, I actually heard about I'd say probably about a year or so ago. I kind of stumbled across Gage Greenwood's um, his YouTube channel, and I was just like, oh, I didn't know that Kindle was doing this, and then kind of started going down that road because it was like, okay, this is an easier it was a platform that existed, and it was a platform that was part of like the biggest ecosystem for self-publishing.
And right on you are.
And
Right
yeah,
on.
yeah,
Right
yeah,
on, sir.
yeah,
Harumph,
exactly.
harumph. Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy. No, seriously, it is.
Mhm.
It is. It's just it's a
Yeah,
no-brainer,
yeah.
you know.
It was kind of like, so when I was looking at it, I was like, okay, well, I could adapt these stories to this, and it's you can yank your story at any time if it doesn't work out, and all that sort of stuff. So it was kind of like, okay, well, this is a good place to kind of try things out and see where this goes a little bit.
They're
And
really good to you too.
yeah.
Gage has done really well out here. I'm sure you've
Hmm.
seen that,
Yeah.
and he's just thrilled to death. I would be
Hmm.
too, man.
Yeah.
He's built himself a beautiful product,
Hmm.
Anyways, uh, yeah, I'm all into it. So when did you first upload to Velo then?
My first upload was in April of this year.
Oh,
The first few episodes went up in April. I think I had the first three done when I did the upload, and then I started doing it pretty much on a weekly basis from there on out. Um,
okay.
and yeah,
I have the name here. It's called
mhm,
The Hungry Ones,
mhm,
Local Heroes Book 1.
mhm.
So what can you tell me about it without any getting spoilery or anything?
Oh,
Eric Eisen, if you listen to this, I said spoilery. Did you hear me?
sure. Basically the idea behind it is I wanted to make a story that felt like kind of your Saturday afternoon D&D game. So
Oh
it's a
man.
bunch, yeah, it's a bunch of heroes going out to save the day, but they're doing it. It's a job. It's not, there's no chosen ones. There's um, no real like save the world style dynamic. It's more, like this story is they're going to save a village that's being attacked by monsters. So, of course there's bigger, there's a bigger story involved in it, and there's lots of twists and turns and stuff, but what happens in this little village is not going to end the world or anything like that. The Dark Lord is not going to be reborn. All of that sort of stuff. It's more. The way I put it is they're saving the world one job at a time. You know.
Yes. Okay,
This
that
is.
sounds wonderful. I
Yeah.
like that. I like the sound of that. Now, are they in character the whole time, or do
Mhm.
you?
Yeah. It's not exactly lit RPG. I think the term for it would be like more progression fantasy. It is a fantasy world. They do live in this fantasy world, and there's not an external world that comes into it.
They
But
are the
it does.
avatars.
Yeah. It's more like it's the characters are the character. It is a
Yes.
fantasy story.
Okay, got it.
Um, but it has kind of those elements of a role playing game where they have classes and they have abilities, and there's they keep track of their health and their mana and things like that. But it's all within the game mechanics are built into
Got it.
the world.
It's totes legit. It's life. It's the rules of nature
Yeah.
in that game.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. That's almost a lit RPG.
It's close. The difference between lit RPG and progression fantasy. Progression fantasy has that kind of idea of you're getting new skills or getting new abilities. Lit RPG is very granular. Very much like these are the rules. This is your character sheet. This is how much you need to level up to this, and all that sort of stuff. And I didn't want to go into that granular detail. I wanted to keep it a little more vague, a little more woo woo, that sort of thing.
A little more what?
A little more woo woo,
Ooh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
good. That's the technical term. Okay.
Yeah, that's the technical term. Yeah.
Awesome. So this actually, so it's monsters, is it? Reminds me a little bit of The Witcher.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like the
one
Witcher's world where you could just be strolling along and some goofy looking thing jumps out of the hedge at you.
Exactly.
Eats your face off.
Yeah, but this is more party based as opposed to like that solitary lone wanderer type. It's because I like to write snark, and so it's just fun to have the party sniping back and forth.
Yeah,
all
you
the
got to
time.
have people around you to write snark. You can't snark yourself.
Yeah, my favorite running joke is so what's the plan? You run in, stab things, don't get dead. We really need better plans, that sort of thing. So that's one of the ones I.
Okay. All right. So we've got how many episodes now?
We're up to 22. Yeah.
What is your average episode length?
Usually it's round, I'd say about 1,500 words is usually where I fall.
Okay. Yeah. We have in our collective wisdom, okay. Imagine big brain, like Mars Attacks. Whoa. No, the authors that I have interviewed, and there've been a handful now. I won't say it's the be all end all, but it is about the general consensus that 1,500 is about that sweet spot.
Yeah. You go too much further than 1,500, you're starting to look at like 20 tokens, and people balk at that. But
and 15, I don't know why. I do know why, and I don't know why. Okay, the tokens are pretty cheap, man. You can't really say they're not. No. But it's something like people are holding on to them like they're dollars or something.
Yeah. Well, it's not like you can't buy, 1,000 of them for $10, and it's because I think it's because it's that number. It's those round numbers we're used to thinking of, like,
It's because we're mental when it comes to money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we're mental. And somebody gives us something, it's shiny, it's gold, we stick it in a purse and we covet it. We hover over it, So anywho, I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so truly that is, you have found, I think the holy grail of the sweet spot there.
Yeah.
And I salute you, sir.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that going in. And one of my very favorite stories that I love so much, the episodes are about 2,500 words long. And that's just about 1,000 too many, even for me, when I'm reading through it. I'm just like, when is this going to stop?
The fun thing as a writer is to write like a 3,000 word episode and go, oh, here's the place I can cut it into 2 of them, and
I have done that.
Yeah, exactly.
I have done.
I did that just recently. I was writing one. I was like, this is getting long, and I was like, I bet I can cut it right here. And if I finish it out, then I got like a 1,500 word and a 900 word, and that'll work.
That'll work.
You know.
Yeah. So anyway, that's cool. And I'm glad you
Hmm.
figured that out. 22 episodes in. Now,
Hmm.
you also have another one that you've uploaded
Hmm. Yep, we
recently.
just started up.
What's it called?
It's called Side Quests. It's Local Hero Side Quests. It's in the same universe. It's where the volume, like the Hungry Ones, is part of is going to be part of an ongoing series with these specific characters. Where Side Quests is kind of more individual adventures. You may see the same adventures pop up here and there, but for the most part, it's it's a self-contained story. You're going to get a beginning, middle, and end within like say 5 or 6 episodes.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah, so it's going to be kind of more of an anthology series. So you get a variety of adventures, and they'll change up as you go along.
Well, that's pretty neat.
Hmm.
Well, that sounds really good. And are you having fun writing it?
I love it. Yeah, it's fun because you get to step away and go, okay, like I can play with these monsters and this kind of character, and they can always show up in the main story later on if I want to, and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah.
And you get to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. You get to go over and the main characters that I'm writing right now are very snarky, and they've got kind of a little bit of a shady past and all that sort of stuff. And then I move over to SideQuest, and the one I'm writing now, they're clerics. They're holy people that are very very good.
That's
And
cool.
they have very strict morals and all, like one the big thing in the first episode is one of them is a paladin, and until the bandit says like, oh, I'm going to hurt you, she can't really act on it yet. And then as soon as he says, I'm going to hurt you, it's like, bam, oh, thank you so much.
Got to have that provocation. Got to have that
Exactly.
actual provocation.
Exactly.
Um, so there was about a 6-month difference between when you heard about Vella and when
Hmm.
you uploaded to Vella. Were
Hmm.
you reading Vella's at that time? Were you just checking it out?
I was reading a few of them, just to kind of get an idea of, okay, what's lengths and styles and things like that, and just kind of researching and deciding if this was where I was going to put my focus for a while.
Yeah.
um, and and really kind of wrapping my head around how it worked. So that's kind of where I went out and did research and joined Facebook groups, and and was trying to, it's even now we don't have a lot of answers as to the mystical workings behind the scenes of Vela, but at least you start getting an idea of,
Yes.
okay, this is how it works a little bit. This is how you kind of have to work on things in order to be successful on the platform.
Right.
And it's a lot. It was a real help early on out of the gate to have those ideas in my head and know how to kind of work within the system.
Sorry about my associates over
Oh, no
here.
worries. No
They're
worries.
telling what's going on in the yard. Well, okay. So, um, did you read Bella's, and have you read some that you'd like to shout out
Sure.
as being good
Oh yeah.
for people to read?
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, if you're on the platform, you should be reading, Bellas. I mean, they're just fun,
Yes.
and you're and supporting other folks and things like that. There's actually several that I really enjoy. If you want something very similar to mine, in that kind of adventure fantasy, the Wild Country series, by Malcolm Ortega. He just finished the first volume. Yeah, and they're fun adventures. It's got that Witcher vibe with, the lone wandering hero and the bard, and he's actually got like a couple different little spin-offs. He's with his bard character, and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
And another one, oh, I have them written down here. And one of them I was actually reading today because I really love kind of Lovecraftian stories. The Case Files of Adelaide Kent by A.R. de
Ah,
Klerk. Yeah, those are just fun. She's got such a great, a really great style. It's got that kind of Victorian, feel to it, and it's Lovecraftian and Sherlock Holmesy, and a little bit of supernatural, all kind of all thrown into one.
Nice.
Um, yeah, super fun stuff. And then just for kind of weird, quirky stuff, Tales of a Vernian Youth with Gaius Augustus. Just
Gaius,
yeah, just
there you
that
go.
yeah, just he also did. Oh, he did another one. Oh, I think it's like a little bit of chaos. I think is one of the other ones that he wrote, which was just kind of Hitchhiker's Guidey kind of fun in that way. So yeah. So my tastes kind of run towards the sci-fi and fantasy and occasional horror and stuff like that.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Well, very good. These are all good
Mhm.
shout outs, good recommendations.
Oh yeah.
Um, so that also brings us to the part of this where I ask you, if you were suddenly to wake up tomorrow, find yourself president of Kindle Vella,
Mhm.
what, if anything, would you do to improve the platform?
Um. So I like the platform itself. Like I think it's pretty well designed. They're still working bugs out, but I think generally it's fairly solid. Um, a couple things, just kind of nitpicks. I'd I'd really like us to have, like, for writers to be able to use the Amazon advertising system, to kind of suggest our, I mean, right now Facebook is kind of the big one for pushing your doing any kind of advertising, but being able to get those Amazon ads in might be a nice another little push. That way we're kind of helping the company, you know, advertise and show off this part of the ecosystem. Um, Maybe a little more clarity on things like how faves and crowns and all that sort of stuff work within the system. I think it took me forever to figure out how how it was working. I was super surprised the first time that I got, like, I could assign a fave, that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And
What's
there,
that?
yeah. And I got a crown at one point, and I was so excited, and then an hour later it went away. But um, yeah, just a little more clarity along those lines, I think, would be great. But I think really in general, they're doing a nice job of pushing the platform. Kind of on a quarterly basis, you kind of see these little things popping up of, you're getting a chunk of free tokens, and, like, the one that's going on right now where you get 100 episodes to read in a day.
Yeah, I was going to
That,
ask you, what do you think about that? That's the brand new push, is
yeah, I
100
think that's real
episodes a
cool, just to
day.
get people onto the platform and checking things out.
I think it's pretty
And
cool.
that's, yeah, and it's really, you see it with all of us in the community going, hey, check this out. If you've been scared to try it out, you
Yeah,
can you can read all of these for free if you want, that sort of thing.
it's pretty
So
cool.
I liked it. I've had a ton of reads today just from that, which has been nice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we can go in and read them later,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as long as they're unlocked,
unless
you can read
unless
them.
Zahn takes them back.
I
But
don't think it will. I don't think it will.
I don't think
It's
they
kind of,
will. But
yeah,
they could. They
they
could.
could, they could. But I think it's going to stand as an unlock through, after the period goes away. I think they'll just eat that cost.
Well, I
They've
hope so. And
Yeah.
because it's a good day for me. I think this is the best day I've ever had.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. You're not having a similar type day?
I'm having a good day. I've had better days, but I'm also further down. I don't have, like, a new episode that came out this week, and I'm kind of further down the list. So I'm having a very good day. But like my best days have been, you know, more than this.
Have you been featured before or?
No, I've actually never gotten up to the feature end of things. I've
Me
gotten
either.
up to like page 2 of the fantasy rankings.
Cool.
And I've been really high in my keywords, here and there, but I just haven't been able to get the crowns yet. You got to get enough faves to get into the ranking system, and just haven't got there yet. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep plugging until somebody decides that they're gonna give me one.
Well, that's right. That's what we have to do.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that way we build more content.
yeah. The more
And
content, the better. I mean, it's it's the whole thing of having that long tail. If you've got that long series, then at least you've got something. You've got something for people to read, and that's never a bad thing.
no, not at all. And if you're heading for where the Wild Country series is, I
Hmm.
love that.
Oh yeah, it's really good stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, it's great.
Yeah.
I'm excited to take a look at yours as well. And so well, we come to the part of the program where you see I put the links to your Vellas. Oh yeah, I
Hmm.
wanted to ask you, did you have anything
Sure.
else like out on Kindle or anything since you've been writing for a while?
No, actually, like I'd only finished a manuscript like this past year,
Oh,
as
okay.
as far as like finish a manuscript. So right now I'm focused on finishing up volume 1 of Local Heroes and then moving that over onto Kindle. So if you follow Local Heroes, then when it comes out over on Kindle, it'll be available, and all that sort of stuff.
I'm getting ready to run a series of people who have done their books
Hmm.
so they can talk about how they did them.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I
And
look forward to
that's
seeing
going to
that.
be the next series that I run, not just the interviews, but interviews
Hmm.
with people who've already done a book so they can tell us
Hmm.
precisely what they did. Like, did they
Yeah.
hire that cover made? Did they hire the formatting done? If so, who
Hmm.
did it? We share that with us, that kind of thing. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah. Um, and I will probably get on that very soon because next year I'm going to have the segments of people that I interviewed a year ago and see
Where are
where
you
they
now?
are. Yeah, where are you now?
Very
Because it
cool.
is fascinating. Vella has
Hmm.
made a huge difference for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
It's brought a lot of voices out of the woodwork, like
Hmm.
yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. You haven't been published anywhere else.
Nope.
So there you
Yeah,
go.
it's been great to meet all the new authors and see folks that are really stepping up. And there's some prolific authors on the platform. Oh my God. The
Tell
folks
me
with
about it,
yeah,
dude. I mean, like they're almost like a machine.
exactly.
And woofed. I can't. I tried when I first got in. I tried
Hmm.
going that fast. Oh my God, I hit a brick wall. It was
Oh
really
yeah.
bad. It was called COVID. The brick wall was called COVID.
Yeah. I had about the same situation. Yeah, I understand that one. Whew.
Oh my God, dude, because you
Mhm.
see that carrot and you're like, hey.
Yeah.
But you can't kill yourself to do it.
No.
But there are, I mean, on the reg, people
Mhm.
coming in, hey, I just wrote 6,000 words
Yeah.
before dinner.
Yeah, that's no.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do about 500 to 1,000 a day, if I'm having a good day.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
Well,
yeah,
I'm fast. I'm doing more than that, but it's not
yeah,
this. It's not what I'm saying. But I know
yeah.
that I know some people personally know them that are
Hmm.
doing that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like we said, the Wild Country series, and just like every other day, he was like new episode day, and I'm like, dude,
You're killing me.
you're
Huh?
killing me.
He's a good guy.
No, he seems cool.
He is. He's very cool.
Mhm.
There's so many of these that are out there that are so worthy,
Mhm.
not just of reads, but like of being adapted into
Oh
scripts
yeah.
and stuff. And all the garbage that's on TV that's so tired, we're all just yawning. It's the same old crap. And here we have all of these wonderful stories that could be, what a smorgasbord.
Oh yeah.
It'd be cool if somebody would find them, or if Amazon would decide to mine them for themselves, because their production company is woo.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure they will. I mean, it's a developing market, and I think in given enough time and enough resources, yeah, I think there's something to be said there.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Hmm.
We can hope. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it'd be great.
Won't hurt us to dream.
Yeah, a
Okay.
little bit of strategy, that'd be great.
So, what would you like to say to folks who would be clicking on your links to go to your Vella stories and read them? What would you like to say to them as they click on them from here?
Just kind of lay back and enjoy the story. It's a fun roller coaster ride. It's very much designed to be, cliffhangers at the end of every episode. So, and I promise it does get finished. It will get finished at some point. We're about halfway through the first volume, but
The first
it's
volume.
yeah. So it's if you start on this adventure, then you've got a good long ways ahead of you. So I think you'll have a fun time.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And I want everybody to know, thank you very much for listening, and I appreciate it. And be sure and like and follow and subscribe, or rather subscribe out here, please. People forget to subscribe when you need to subscribe. So please do.
Make
And
sure you hit notifications.
yes, and come back for new content. We have it probably 3-4 times a week. So thanks a lot. Peace out.
Thank you.
Bye, Ben. Thanks. Gonna
Bye.
stay
Thank you so much.
recording.